teacher RONALYN, your science teacher for today. In this video, we will talk about the respiratory system. We will define what is respiratory system and identify its functions. Describe what is anatomy of respiratory tract, illustrate the mechanics and regulation of breathing, and explain the concept of gas exchange and gas loss. Before we start, let's have first a review. We all know that our body are made up of cells, and many cells that join together makes tissue, and tissues making together makes an organ. The organs makes the system. Here are some examples of system: nervous, digestive, muscular, skeletal, reproductive, circulatory, and respiratory system. Have you tried to pinch your nose less than a minute? Like 30 seconds? Let's try! What did you feel? What did you do after you remove your hand? Yes, the first thing that you did is to gasp for air and breath again. Anything that blocks the airflows that entering the nose and mouth through the trachea into the lungs will cause difficulty in breathing. Respiratory system is the network of organs and tissues that help us breathe. It includes your airways, lungs, and blood vessels. The muscles that power your lungs are also part of the respiratory system. These parts work together to move oxygen throughout the body and clean out waste gases like carbon dioxide. The main functions of respiratory system are: first, transporting air into and out of lungs; second, protecting our body against harmful particles that are inhaled; and the most important part, the gas exchange of oxygen and carbon dioxide, basically about breathing. Breathing is the process of intake of air into the lungs, or the inhalation, and expulsion of carbon dioxide, or the exhalation. Now, let's take a look at the diagram and we go to the respiratory system's main parts. Starting here with the nose and mouth, the pharynx is also here, called throat, and it connects to the respiratory openings, the larynx and esophagus. Esophagus is not part of the respiratory system but mainly for digestive system. Next, we have the larynx, also called voice box, because the vocal cords are located here. The lungs are placed here, the trachea, also called windpipe, and it connects to the bronchi which merge into smaller tubes called bronchioles. And the bronchioles connect to tiny air sacs called the alveoli, and down here is the diaphragm. In anatomically, respiratory tract is divided into upper and lower respiratory tract. The upper respiratory tract are the organs outside thorax, the nose, pharynx, and larynx. The lower respiratory tract are the organs within thorax, the trachea, bronchi, bronchioles, alveolar duct, and alveoli. When the lungs inhale, the diaphragm contracts and pulls downward. At the same time, the muscles between the ribs contract and pull upward. This increases the size of the thoracic cavity and decreases the pressure inside. As a result, air rushes in and fills the lungs. The rate of breathing is regulated by the brain stem. It monitors the level of carbon dioxide in the blood and triggers faster or slower breathing as needed to keep the level within a narrow range. Gas exchange is the primary function of the lungs, involving the transfer of oxygen from inhaled air into the blood and the transfer of carbon dioxide from the blood into the exhaled air. Now, let's proceed to the respiratory gas loss. First, the Boyle's law. It states that the pressure of a given quantity of gas is inversely proportional to its volume, assuming a constant temperature. The application of Boyle's law in our respiratory system is when you inhale, muscles increase the size of your thoracic or chest cavity and expand your lungs. This increases their volume, so pressure inside the lungs decreases. Second is the Charles law. It states that the volume of a given quantity of gas is directly proportional to its absolute temperature, at this time assuming a constant pressure. The application of Charles' law in respiratory system, as air warmed in the conducting division of the respiratory system, it will increase in volume. Intraalveolar pressure is the pressure of the air within the alveoli, which changes during the different phases of breathing. Third is the Dalton's law. It states that the total pressure of a gas mixture is equal to the sum of the partial pressures of its individual gases. At any given time, the percentage of each of these gases in the air we breathe makes its contribution to total atmospheric pressure, and this contribution will depend on how much of each gas is in the air we breathe. Lastly is the Henry's law. It states that at the air-water interface, the amount of gas that dissolves in water is determined by its solubility in water and its partial pressure in the air, assuming a constant temperature. Henry's law example application in respiratory gas laws is carbonated soft drinks. Before the bottle or can is opened, the gas above the drink is almost pure carbon dioxide, at a pressure slightly higher than atmospheric pressure. The drink itself contains dissolved carbon dioxide. Application of Henry's law in respiratory physiology is to predict how gases will dissolve in the alveoli and bloodstream during gas exchange. The amount of oxygen that dissolves into the bloodstream is directly proportional to the partial pressure of oxygen in alveolar air. Alright! I hope you've learned a lot from this video lesson and able to evaluate how much have you learned. Let's try this. Time's up. Now, let's check if you got the correct answers. Okay class, copy your assignment. Again, I am your teacher RONALYN. Please do follow the health protocols. Wash your hands regularly, wear a face mask, do cough etiquette, social distancing, use disinfectant, and eat healthy food. Because I believe in saying that prevention is better than cure. Thank you and God bless.